Hello, this is a demo of a preliminary design of for the virtual machines console card here and behavior. And yeah, let's go through it. We start out with a virtual machine that is not running and doesn't have any graphical or text console enabled for it. That's probably quite unusual. Normally, when you create a virtual machine, it automatically gets graphical and text consoles, but it's possible that they don't have any, and Cockpit can now get you out of this. And as you see, machine is not running, but you still can switch now between the consoles here, just so that we can tell you whether they even exist or not. And let's add the text console here. That happens quite quickly. And now the text changes to tell you that you have to, of course, start the machine to get this console here. We leave the graphical one not enabled, just to show you what happens when you do this, when the machine is running. So we start, it switches to text. Something should be happening here when the machine is booted. And here's the login prompt now that the Alpine Linux puts on the serial console. There's still nothing here because there's no graphical console added, so we can add it now. It happens, but now it tells you you have to shut down and restart the machine again to add it. That's just how these things work. And let's do it. And now when we start the machine, you get the graphical console and you can actually see the boot messages scrolling. Resolution has changed and all of that. And we have the login prompt here. Okay, you can also see that now there's a button here for launching an external viewer if the built-in one is not good enough. That used to be on its own tab here, but now it's immediately here and easy to reach with a single click. And next to it is some explanation for what you have to do to get this to work. We can extend this. There are so many options for external viewers. Maybe we should describe more here and let people select which one they want. And it also tells you the URL that you could use with certain viewing applications. And there's now here a quite hidden place to set port and password. You might want to have a static port when you use external viewers, and passwords also might make sense with external viewers, but they don't do anything for the internal inline viewer here. So they are grouped now together with the remote viewing explanations. Yeah, I'll show you the dialog, how it looks now. We can put a static port here and maybe a password. You can reveal the password and just save it. And again, it tells us there are changes pending here. So let's quickly shut it down and start it again. Okay, now when we check this, the URL has changed and now tells us about the port. And if you would use an external viewer, you would have to put in the password. There are also changes to the expanded view. So if you really want to work with this console here now, you probably want to have a bigger one. You can expand this. It doesn't take away the shell UI yet, but I guess we will get there eventually. But now you have a bigger view of your console. This button here is new. That gets you back to the compressed view. Previously, you had to navigate with the back button maybe, or with the breadcrumb trail that is also not here anymore. You cannot start or stop machines on this expanded view now. But there's little improvement if you now switch to the text console here and then you compress, then you stay on the text console if that's what you're working with. Unfortunately, the content still disappears, but we're also working on keeping keeping this intact when you switch between expanded and compressed view. Okay, I guess that's it. There's one more change maybe that's interesting. I'll shut the machine down and change it in the background so that it doesn't have any VNC, but it will have a SPICE graphical console. And did I do that right? No. So now it has a SPICE graphical console, and Cockpit itself can't do a lot with the SPICE protocol. We don't have an in-page viewer for SPICE. And also on some operating systems, SPICE is not at all supported anymore. So for some time, we had this dialog where you could replace the SPICE devices with VNC ones. If you upgrade your OS, for example, and you lose SPICE support in the process, it's good to do this. And now we can also offer this here in the console card directly. And the viewer, the launch viewer button now would launch an external SPICE viewer. And if you start this now, you can see it's now the text console. Don't get confused. We are still on graphical here with no output, but we have the SPICE URL here now. And we can just go back to a nice in-place VNC viewer if we want to. And we are back. Oh, I should point this out. There are some hidden actions here that you can do with the graphical viewer and the text viewer. Text only has disconnect here. Graphical has a way to send weird key combinations and also to disconnect it if you need that. Yo, I think that's it. Thanks a lot.